You are listening to Dear Texas Radio, a program of Dear Texas Read and sponsored by Texas Authors Incorporated. If you would like to ask today's guest author a question, please do so on Twitter using the hashtag Dear Texas Radio. However, not all questions will be answered during the show. Now sit back and enjoy listening to today's show and learn about a Texas author and their books.
Hi, this is Rox Berkey, and I welcome you to Dear Texas, where we encourage folks to drop everything and read. And I am absolutely delighted this evening to have Sherry Hall join us to be able to talk about some of her writing accomplishments. Sherry, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Sherry, I want to kind of get into it and start explaining to some of our listeners exactly, what you've been doing. I know that you've been writing for most of your life.
Right.
So, when did you start?
I really can't remember a time that writing wasn't a part of my life. One of my early works was a poem to my parents called, with apologies to Elizabeth Barrett Browning, How Do I Hate Yard Work? Let Me Count the Ways, as an attempt to get out of the weekend chores, but it was unsuccessful.
Well, I know that you also did a whole bunch of handwritten Christmas cards for family and stuff, so you really kind of kicked off. And then you had a really interesting job. So tell us a little bit about your job.
Well, I have the best job in the world, and I get to work with the best people. I was a classroom teacher for years, a special education teacher. I got to teach reading and writing to students from kindergarten up to sixth grade. And now I'm an instructional specialist with our school district. So I get to still work with students somewhat, but I also get to support teachers. So it's really rewarding.
And in all of the writing that you did, and I know you like poetry and painting and all of the arts, but finally in May of 2016, I think you completed your first novel, The Charming Bracelet, right?
That's right.
So can you tell us a little bit about it? It's kind of interesting. It's got a big 27 on the cover.
Yes. The original title was actually 27 Lucky Charms, but that got nixed because it kind of sounded like breakfast cereal. So we went with The Charming Bracelet. The story is about a 16-year-old girl named Lexi. And for Lexi, 27 is a really important number in her life. There's 27 letters in her name. Her mother was 27 years old when she left her and her brother and abandoned them with her grandparents. And she's been to the principal's office 27 times this year for silly reasons at school. So when she finds a charm bracelet in the park, she's not surprised there are 27 charms on it. And she tracks down the owner, who's an elderly lady named Miss M, and asks her to please tell her the story of the charms on the bracelet. And then that's the rest of the book, of the stories of the charms, which are really the stories of Miss M's life. And those stories help Lexi to work through all of the issues that she's dealing with in her own life.
Well, I think that one of the things that I found very interesting in the story, The Charming Bracelet, was it kind of seems like it's geared toward a young person because it's about this girl and her trials and tribulations. But, I'm believing that it's more of a read for everyone. Is that what your intention was?
I started out thinking it was a young adult novel because that's just about my favorite genre to read. But as I kept writing, I started wondering, what kind of book is this? It's really both viewpoints, I think, Lexi and Miss M. So I think there's maybe a wider audience there for sure.
Now, I noticed that, it's something that does kind of walk through good and bad times for the character.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did you draw upon for Lexi when you created her? Because I think she just, I don't know, it's like somebody you want to hug. Just want to reach out and hug her.
Well, I did. I actually dreamed Lexi. She just sort of appeared one night as she was with her story to tell. And I had that for several months, kind of not sure how to start. I wasn't sure how to organize the story. And then one of my daughters, Kelly, she's a writer as well, and we were talking one day, and she said, Mom, give every charm its own chapter. And that was it. It just sort of clicked. And I think that was October 31st. And so the next day I signed up for NaNoWriMo and wrote it during November, the first 9 days in November.
Wow.
Yeah, the draft just kind of came right out after I knew how to put it down. So it was pretty fun.
Well, it sounds like almost a forced march, but the results are certainly worth it. Now, you did mention that your daughter, and I think that you have, 4 other children. Do they influence your writing a lot?
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness. In ways I'm probably not even aware of. They'll do something and say something, and then it will show up months later, and kind of surprising sometimes. But they're all very unique, strong personalities, so there's always lots there to write about. Sometimes, they'll be talking to me, and I get this pause, and they say, okay, no, don't use that, Mom. That's off limits. So that's, but yeah, definitely they're a source of inspiration in many ways.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's kind of an upbeat thing. I mean, family is really important a lot of times to have an author stay centered and keep on focus. So I get that.
For sure.
So have you, when Charming Bracelet came out, did you envision that it would be, a success? I mean, NaNoWriMo is kind of an interesting way to approach it. But did you think you were going to get that kind of success?
No, I think I just needed to get the story out. And, of course, those 9 days, it was a very rough draft. And I worked on it for a couple of years and then kind of said, well, that was cool. That was fun to do, and put it in a drawer. So I really didn't have any big goals. I was kind of wanted to publish, but to me the process of the writing was more important. As a writing teacher, I wanted to always keep up with my craft so I could be the best teacher for my students. So that was a big inspiration as well for me.
And that's good. So you influenced a lot of people with your teaching. Probably the success of publishing not only the Charming Bracelet, but you've published some other items. I don't want to talk about the up and coming one yet, but what other things have you actually published? Something about the mermaid's necklace, I think.
That's actually up and coming still. That's a work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one's one that's sitting in the computer right now.
Well, yeah, I'm actually working on that one with my daughter Kelly, and I'm really excited about it. It's a little bit different. You said you didn't want to talk about it yet, but here I go. It's hard not to.
No. Go ahead and let's talk about this one. That's a really good idea. I want to save Motocross is what I want to say.
Okay. So the mermaid's necklace is about a group of 6 women from very different places and stages in their lives, and they have all come together in the Outer Banks of North Carolina for different reasons, and they become sort of united around this tragic event that has happened to one of the women, and they bond and become friends. And the story is a novel, but it's told in verse. So each character has an alternating chapter. It's been very interesting trying to keep them all straight. And so we're going to see. We'll see how it comes out. I'm excited about it, though.
Well, good. I mean, I think that's going to be very, very exciting. It's a little different for you, not just a straight young adult kind of vision that Charming Bracelet was.
It's definitely more of an adult novel, and my daughter has sort of taken some of the younger characters. They kind of spoke to her a little more, and that seemed like a good match. So this is our first time to work together. She's a fabulous writer on her own, of her own right, but we're kind of finding our way through this. It's been kind of fun.
And it sounds like a lot of fun. That's one thing about having children that like to write. So we're going to take a short break and get a message from our sponsors, and then I want to come back. I want to talk about the one that is being worked with your son, if that's right, Sherry.
Sounds great. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be
Dear
right
Texas
back.
would like to thank our sponsors.
Love to read? Love to meet authors in person? Then check out bookfestival.network to find a book festival in your region of Texas. We are adding book festival events throughout the year, so sign up to get notices and even a coupon towards purchase of a Texas author's book. Sign up at bookfestival.network. Texas Authors Institute of History is proud to sponsor the Hill Country Writing Symposium. This year's fall event will be held in Comfort, Texas. To learn more, go to writing.texasauthors.institute. A fun event with talented authors sharing ideas to help you grow as a writer. The 2018 spring event will be held in Wimberley, Texas in early May. Sign up at writing.texasauthors.institute today. Texas Authors is accepting entries into their 6th annual book contest. Go to books.txauthors.com and sign up. Contest is valid for Texas authors only and is open to anyone 18 years of age and older who published a book during the 2017 calendar year. Enter at books.txauthors.com today. Attention students in grades 6 through 12. Do you love to write? Texas Authors Institute of History is kicking off its first statewide short story contest for students. It's free to enter and a great way to begin your career in writing. Sign up at shortstory.texasauthors.institute for complete rules. Again, to enter, go to shortstory.texasauthors.institute. You can win cash prizes and an opportunity to be published. Hello, Texas authors. My name is Randy James, coming to you from my Carrollton recording studio, where I spend time writing and producing commercials for my radio endorsement clients, as well as my private freelance clients. I'd like the opportunity to help you sell more books with a commercial like this and get listeners of Dear Texas Radio excited about your title, all at a special introductory price, available to members of the Texas Association of Authors. Call or text 214-762-1942. That's 214-762-1942. Brakefield and Berkey, 2017 award-winning authors of the Enigma series Techno Thrillers, have released their first book in Audible format. The Enigma Factor is the foundational story for the series' ongoing battles against cyber assassins using technology, today's weapon of choice. Explore the digital threats of fighting for lost identity, struggling with mutant computer viruses, or commodity market manipulation. EnigmaSeries.com reveals the intrigue and intelligence of digital combat in our 21st century. Available in paperback, ebook, and now Audible format. You are listening to Dear Texas Radio, a program of Dear Texas Read, and sponsored by Texas Authors Incorporated. If you would like to ask today's guest author a question, please do so on Twitter using the hashtag Dear Texas Radio. However, not all questions will be answered during the show. Now sit back and enjoy listening to today's show and learn about a Texas author and their books.
Welcome back. I am Rox Berkey with Dear Texas Radio. And again, we encourage folks to drop everything and read. I am delighted to continue the conversation with Sherry Hall this evening, a Texas author who has 4 children and really loves to write, travel, and do poetry. So, Sherry, welcome back.
Thank you.
When we left, we were talking about, some of the things you have sitting on your computer, at least one of them. But I think that in addition to Charming Bracelet, where you wrote about Lexi, I think what's very exciting to me is that you have a new story coming out this November, I think. Is that right?
That's right.
And it's called Motocross Crossrut. And it's exciting for a really special reason. Why is that?
It's exciting because it's a book I co-wrote with my 12-year-old son, Gavin, and it's his first time to be published. We got our copyright notice the other day, so it was a really big moment. So I'm really excited to do that, to have that experience with him.
So who came up with the idea, and can you kind of give us a little peek into what's that story?
Well, being the child of a teacher is a unique sort of experience, and I'm sure a lot of kids can relate to that, and a lot of adults can probably relate to that. And so Gav is a big motocross enthusiast, as you might have imagined. So he loves to ride, and he had a wreck in April on the bike and broke his collarbone. Yeah, I got a few white hairs. He had a broken collarbone. So he was off of the bike for several weeks, and it was just an idea I had to help him sort of kind of deal with being off the bike and still, work through what he was going through and still kind of think about motocross. So I said, we're going to write a book about not you, but about a character sort of based on you. So our character, Alex, is coming back to motocross from a broken leg. We changed it up a little bit. But that was that was how that began to come about. And so he provided all of the technical, anything, I didn't know what a crossrut was. I'm still not entirely clear about it. But he, so he had all the firsthand experience, and it was a lot of fun. He would do the draft, then we would talk about it. We'd talk about the craft of writing, and so it was a learning experience. And I guess we got about halfway through, and I thought, this is a pretty good story we have going here. Let's think about publishing this. So we did, and we're both really excited for it to come out.
Well, I think that's a wonderful project. Not only is it difficult to keep a 12-year-old young person busy without allowing them to be running and jumping and doing all of the normal physical activities and the hard sport of motocross alone. I'm not sure if it was at my house that motocross bike would be locked up somewhere, but that's But this is a great outlet. So the hero of the story has a whole journey through this story and overcoming.
He's actually at the end of his time off the bike, and he's coming back and dealing with different riders and dealing with sort of finding his mojo again, and so it's been a fun story. Now I will tell you, Gav has been back on the bike. He got back on probably in May. He's currently sitting at home with a broken arm from another motocross wreck. Now, I have to laugh or I'll cry. So maybe book 2's coming. I don't know. I've got to find something for him to do.
So Crossrut is geared to what audience?
We're thinking it's about 3rd to 5th grade. It's a short chapter book, and I'm really excited that it is illustrated by a young up-and-coming artist named Holly Peterson, and I think that it's going to be really, really cool. Yeah.
So what are your plans when that book is released in November? Are you going to be at some of the book fairs? Are you going to be in some of the book stores? libraries? What do you have a plan?
Yes. I want to do some of the festivals. I want to bring Gavin with me and, let him have that experience as well. So we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. He's not too sure, but I think he'll get excited about it as it gets a little closer.
Now, are you planning for this story to come out in more of a hardback or soft trade paper?
Mm-hmm. It'll be
both?
a paperback. Mm-hmm. It'll come out as a paperback. Okay. I'm really I'm excited about all of it, but the cover is actually a great photograph by a photographer named Brian Clark, and it's a picture of Gav that we've used for the cover.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's another kind of cool piece of it. So, lots of fun.
Wow, that's very exciting.
To this one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, it's got your children. There's like nothing better, right?
Right. That's right.
So it probably would be something that, down the road you might want to even consider translated into Spanish or some other languages, because motocross is not, it's not just for Texas kids. It's pretty widely done with that group.
You're right. It's I had no idea. It's a whole culture. It's a whole world out there that I've, been exposed to. So I'm just going to write that down. That's a great idea, Rox. I had not thought of that, but yeah, I love that idea.
So I know that the Charming Bracelet is available on Amazon. Is that where you're planning for Motocross Crossrut to be as well?
Yes. I think Charming Bracelet's also on BarnesandNoble.com and Walmart, which I didn't know. That came up the other day. That was exciting. So hopefully all of the same outlets, as well as, of course, locally. We want to do a lot of shows and, meet our readers, talk to our readers. So that's one of the best parts. Well,
yeah, you're going to have a Gavin fan club now. It's going to be a real important thing. So that's really exciting. I mean, I can't wait to get my copy, but when it comes out in November. So you got to make sure and let me know, because I want to be one of the first ones to grab that particular story. I have some Christmas presents that I'll hold off on till that comes out.
That's right.
So here you are. You're an amazing writer and teacher, and you've got books coming, and so you also have another book that's on your computer now as well.
I do.
So tell me about that one. That one's kind of interesting as well.
So this one is called The Patron Saint of Keeping Up Appearances. It's about a woman named Dallas who is a cookbook writer. And when she's on vacation with her family in San Antonio, her beloved dog Barney goes missing. And she ends up with this kind of quirky group of retired people who are in an independent living facility who are famous for sort of tracking down lost pets. And so it's kind of a funny, lighthearted, kind of a you never know what's going to happen kind of story. So that's what I'm working on 5 minutes every single day. 5 minutes up. It may come out, about the time I'm going into an independent living facility.
When you become one of those retired people too, is that what you're saying?
And I'm loving writing these older people because, the older I get, in my 50s now, I just feel like I'm growing into my life. And it's so much more fun than I thought it was going to be when I was younger. And I just am enjoying getting older and sort of feeling that freedom that comes along with it to kind of be yourself and do what you want to do. So I'm having a lot of fun writing these characters.
Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
are we going to do repeats on Lexi? Are we going to, have another story on her, or are you just kind of letting the ideas flow?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of out of jewelry. I've done the Charming Bracelet. We've got the mermaid's necklace. Maybe there's something with earrings. I don't know. Maybe an anklet. We'll see what happens.
There you go. So some of the listeners that are listening to the show this evening are authors, or they want to be authors. So if you could kind of summarize some advice for these folks, could you kind of, give me a quick, what would your first line of advice be?
I would say it's not ever too late, and just to go for it, don't censor yourself and take a chance. And I think the main thing about becoming a writer is believing you are a writer. So that's the thing that's made the difference for me.
Nice. I really like that. So I know that you have a blog. Where's your blog in case people want to follow you, Sherry?
My blog is on LiveJournal. It's Sherryville at livejournal.com, and I just write about whatever is happening at the moment. So you never know what you're going to get when you go there.
Oh, good. So that's kind of exciting. And then where else can people find out information about you? You have a website, right?
I have a website. It's sherryhallwrites.com, and people can contact me through there as well. So I'm always excited to hear from people. I left a book at Heathrow Airport this summer, and so I'm hoping someone will find it and contact us through the website.
Okay. Well, I hope that works out for you as well. So, this has been really exciting. So a Charming Bracelet is available on Amazon. Motocross Crossrut is coming out in November, and it's with your son, Gavin.
Right.
And I think that's very exciting. I just am totally looking forward to it. Any last words for our audience, Sherry?
Thanks for listening. Thank you for having me on. It was a real pleasure, and I enjoyed it so much.
Well, thank you for being here. And again, Sherry Hall, we appreciate it. Have a nice evening, folks, and goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to Dear Texas Radio, where we encourage everyone to drop everything and read a great book by a Texas author. More information about this show or any of our shows from the past years can be found at radio.deartexas.info. That's radio.deartexas.info. I'm Randy James.